Hey guys, what's up? It's Curtis. It has definitely been quite some time since I've posted a video, but here we are making another cryptocurrency video. And of course, we're going to be looking at none other than Hedera HBAR, which is one of my top performing alts, as well as one of my favorite picks to perform well overall this cryptocurrency bull run that hopefully we see, but anytime between now and October, which is what I'm anticipating. So yeah, here we are, we're looking at HBAR and we're going to dive right into today's video. Okay, so here we are on HBAR and we are starting to see some bullish momentum. As you can see overall. We had this obviously huge pump in 2021 before we ultimately kind of came way down. And then we've just kind of been obviously accumulating in these past 3 or 4 years, and then we kind of got news that Donald Trump was going to be president, so we came back up, came down, and then this is right around his inauguration where we hit that most recent high. Now we've come back down with a bunch of the clowniness that he's been doing, and we're starting to see some more bullish momentum, so things are looking on the up for Hedera HBAR at the very least. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at some very recent support and resistance to see where price is reacting overall very well. So as we can see here, you're looking for where price touches basically as often as possible and rejects it. That's what I classify as a strong support and resistance zone. So as you can see, this is currently the price that we are respecting, is this 27-cent mark. And if you look to your left, back here in March, we respected that level as well and came back down. Looking back here in January, it was acting as support. A support here in December as well. A support here started December, and just support all the way across. So in September, it was treated as support pretty much the entire month. Came down here in March, it was resistance, and now we are respecting that resistance one more time, and we're trying to ultimately break through. If we do break through this most recent resistance at 27 cents, I can pretty much safely assume we're going to come up to at least this area right here, which is going to be the 37-cent mark, which would be fantastic to see. Like I said, when you're looking at support and resistance, you're always looking left, so we're going to go back, and we're just going to keep on looking left on that support line, or resistance line I should say, and here we are way back in the bull run of 2021. It was support here, came back down, we broke through, ultimately came back up and retested that as resistance before ultimately falling off to the downside for the next few years. This indicates a very strong support and resistance line, so I'm sure price, once we break through this 27 mark, it will have no issues getting up to that 37-cent mark. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to grab our fib tool and run it from the most recent all-time high, I should say, down to the most recent low, and we're going to see what levels we respected. So as you can see, we respected, once we made that low, we came up, we respected the 38 level as support, ultimately came back down, came back up to it and broke through again, rejected the 50 level, came down, and the 38 level was treated as support. Now here we are, we just broke through the 50 level again, rejected the 62 level, and now we're just kind of bouncing on the support line right at the 50 level. So as I mentioned, I do think we're going to get to this most recent all-time high here, which is the 37-cent mark. Obviously our real high was the 40-cent mark, and I definitely see us breaking that as well in the very short term. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what we'll call price discovery based off of those shorter time frames. Here we are looking at the Fibonacci. Once we break that 40-cent mark, or that 100% level, we are going to be in what is called the short-term price discovery levels, which will be anything beyond that 1 mark, or that 40-cent mark, which is from here to here will be the short-term price discovery. And why I say short-term price discovery is just because we're running from the most recent high to the recent lows, and not our all-time high down to our lows, which we will do here later in this video. So looking at some short-term targets, our short-term target at the 1.618 level, Hedera HBAR would be at 57 cents. If we continue looking up, once we get to that 2.618 level, Hedera would be at 85 cents. Moving on up to the 3.618 level, we would be at $1.12. And then lastly, at the 4.236 level, we would be at $1.29. Although I wouldn't complain if Hedera did hit $1.29, I don't think that's it. I think it has a lot more potential than that. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to exceed that. We might not even hit that, but I definitely think the potential is there to go much, much higher. Let me show you why. Here we are on a much bigger scale from the absolute all-time high to the all-time low. And as you can see, price consistently respects these same levels. We have rejection off the 23.6 level. It treated it as support once it broke through. We have rejection off of the 78 level, came back down and respected the 50 level, and now we're climbing back up to that 78 level. As you can see, using the Fibonacci, price historically and continues to respect these key levels here marked in the Fibonacci tool. Now, as I mentioned, I do think Hedera can do a lot better than that $1.29 price point, and this is what we would call real price discovery. If we do reach this previous all-time high that happened back in November of 2021 of about 47 cents, we will officially be in price discovery. So if we look, we're going to use the same rules. If we go up to the 1.618 level, our first price target would be 75 cents. Moving beyond that, our next price target is going to be at the 2.618 level. It's going to be $1.19. Moving beyond that, we go up to the 3.618 and we're going to be at $1.64. And then lastly, we have the 4.236 where we could see Hedera HBAR potentially hit $1.91. And who knows, that's not necessarily a ceiling on this thing. It could go even further than that. Overall, Hedera is on the right track. I do think once we see a break of this most recent high here, we will obviously skyrocket, I think, right past this. If we break above, close above, potentially come back down and respect it as a support before ultimately going back up and reaching these highs at 40 cents. That's what I see in the very short term before we ultimately break this key level here and continue moving on even further. Thanks for tuning in, guys. That's it for today's video. Let me know what you think about Hedera HBAR or what other coins you want to see me do a small analysis on. I appreciate the support. As always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Until next time.